All right, I'm here at the Texas Mile, and I'm at the Tech Information booth. And I'm talking to Kevin and Brian, and they're going to tell us a little bit about what they do here at the Tech booth.
My name's Kevin Mixon. This is Brian Anderson. I'm the chief of tech. He's my assistant chief, more or less my right-hand man. Like I said, he's way more organized than I do. He's better with the paperwork. But we basically and set up and keeping up with all the loose ends. But anyway, so we run the tech department for the Texas Mile, and our chief duty is to ensure the safety of the participants, even against their will sometimes. So our biggest safety requirements, depending on speed, but is always tires. Tires are very specific and to make for safe passes. Helmet and gloves, in date. Those are our biggest challenges every event. We've been doing this for 18 years, and that has not changed. Brian?
And also with the helmets and safety harnesses, seat belts, fire extinguishers, making sure they have a safe car before they. We want them to go home in one piece, since they came in one piece. Go home in the same condition.
Yeah, for sure.
We want them, to have fun, enjoy themselves. We don't need them to go out in the red and blues. We need them to go out in their car that they came in on.
So I guess the question is, how is the safety record with the event? Has there ever been an actual incident?
We've had several, but it's not anything I think that we have let go.
Right.
It's something that happened with the car.
Yeah, and with those incidents, because of your safety measures, the drivers were safe and okay?
We've absolutely. We have one of the strongest, outside of Bonneville, we have one of the most stringent rule books for standing mile. And it is our safety measures that have kept our participants safe and alive. It's been more than a decade since we've had a serious incident. And those actually generally tend to be motorcycles, as you might believe. 250 miles an hour on a motorcycle. You go down, tends to inflict
things
injuries.
go real quick at 250 miles an hour, period.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, yeah. I can't imagine riding a motorcycle at 250 miles an hour.
Me neither.
No.
But our car, we've had a few cars over 200 go end over end, and both drivers been walked away, we'll say.
That's great.
And they're still here today.
Minor.
Yeah, of course, but the safety considerations that you guys look out for are definitely working then to protect everyone.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
that's we have to make sure that they have the safe car. You don't want them to go down there and go too fast, and then something happens, and it's like, okay, well, they didn't have the correct gear. Once they do the investigation on it, we want to make sure they have everything correct. Some of the problems we'll have is like they haven't raced in a while, so they haven't read the rules, and they don't look at the specific like helmet dates, safety dates on the harnesses and stuff like that. So it makes it difficult because now you gotta play the bad guy.
Yeah.
And I don't like.
It's important to read and stay up to date.
Yeah, read the rules.
It'll answer all your questions.
Yeah, read the rules. You'll have everything you need to know in the rule book. We always update. I try and make sure that we have current with us on hand. I'll have on paper and I'll have it on my phone. So if we have somebody who wants to, we'll say argue,
challenge,
we'll say challenge.
Yeah.
Challenge us, and it's right there in black and white.
We get about a dozen of those in the event also that are sure the rules don't exist.
So obviously not too many cars go over 200 miles per hour. Are there different classifications, different rules for different speeds? If you know like what your speed limitation is there a certain set of safety rules?
There's safety rules for every speed bracket.
Okay.
And it's broke down in the regulations.
Up to 200 is because amazingly today it's not uncommon to have a true street car do 200 miles an hour out here. So what we've done actually just this year, and last year is we bumped the roll cage, or the roll bar requirements to 4-point will carry you to 215, because we've got a lot of daily cars that will literally go over 200.
Yeah.
And so
lots of supercars out there now.
Yeah, and so 200 miles an hour when we first started this was a big number. Now it's not. I mean, you've got GTR, like that white GTR with a few more bits will be a 200 mile an hour car, and you can go get groceries in it.
There's Corvettes out here that'll do 200.
Yeah.
That are daily drivers.
Yeah. So we've extended that rule book. I mean, you've got to have fire. You've got to have more protection over 200, but where it gets serious for us, because we've seen a lot of the more serious incidents are over 230. At 230, we're looking at 24 spec cages and stuff like that, so that, you know, most people call them funny car cage, because that's really what they are. And because that's when it goes bad at 230, 240, 250, it goes real bad.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's airplane speed right there.
Yeah. So
it gets ugly.
We get so that's our most serious rule set, is the 230 plus, and it's one of those things. It's, if you've got the money to have a car that will do 230 miles an hour, you've got definitely have the money for the safety equipment. I mean,
Yeah.
absolutely you do.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's drivers out here
Money
that
buys speed. So
there's car owners, and they have drivers for the cars. The owner's, his biggest concern is the safety of his driver.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I want the safest car for my driver, because I want my driver for the next event, and
Absolutely.
the next event, and the next event. You know, you can't replace a body. You can replace the car. You can replace equipment. You can't replace the body. So that's why we hammer on the helmet, the gloves, the safety gear, and that's what you want, you know.
Okay.
And they'll argue with you. It's like, it's in black and white, so you have to deal with it.
Yeah.
So what else you want to know? We want to be totally boring.
Yeah.
How long have you guys been involved in the Texas Mile?
You know, Jay and Shannon and I have been friends since the late 90s when we were racing SCCA Touring 1. So I've known them well before they started the mile. But the mile, I think this is our 18th year, and I've been in and about, but I think I've been chief of tech for 5 years now. Before that, I was right hand to Norman, and I probably did that for at least 6 years. And then, but yeah, I've been around the event for at least 18 years, on and off. So, Brian, you can't
I'm
start
coming up
around.
on my 10th year.
Yeah.
October will be my 10th year that I've been doing this.
He started out bringing kids out that were in the mechanic program,
At the,
and then
at the local college here.
Okay.
Then he
So Shannon got with me and wanted to bring the students out and show there's other sides of the automotive field than just turning wrenches. There's this side, the sport side.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
would bring the students out, and so then I kind of made it a challenge for the students. It's like, okay, you want to go to the Texas Mile and help, you need to participate in class, do good, and this is your reward. So and then after that, it was just like, hey, you're coming with us to Colorado, and then it was, you know, been doing it ever since. And
I mean, I honestly wouldn't want to do this job without Brian. He's very strong.
And have you guys ever driven a car on the track before? Or?
I've taken my daughter's car out there.
Yeah.
I actually drove with her to get her out of the fear of going fast, because it was, okay, in the event you want to do this continuously, this is what we're going to do.
Ah, awesome.
So yeah, it was fun for her. She works here as well. She works down at the start line. So she's one of the final yes or no's. So, and she'll tell you no. So
Okay.
it's become a family affair
But
with her and I.
But my I've been over 180 in my Corvette, my streetcar Corvette that was a daily driver commuter car. So yeah,
Oh, that's awesome.
it used to be fast, but 180 is like entry level these days.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, you know, years and years ago, I was probably in a Camaro or something like that, but we went 130, 140 maybe, but unless that was fast. And, you know, of course we were breaking the local law because
Yeah.
we were on the street when we did that.
Mm-hmm.
But Other than that, like my speed is in airplanes traveling from city to city. So
Right.
yeah. I would love to ride in one of these cars though. That'd be awesome.
It's fun. I've learned a lot from Kevin, and I've learned a lot from Norman. Just learned a lot just being out here, just watching, looking and pointing out this is what we want, this is what's got to be, learning when I was not really working for them, when I was bringing the students out here. It's like you learn, you learn to look at the tires, you learn to look at the helmets, the gloves, and all the safety gear. Then you start realizing this is a pretty big deal.
It is. Well, Brian's progressed. Like I said, I trust everything he does on a car, but we have some pretty serious builds out here, and we will not let him go without both of us putting hands on that car to make sure that neither one of us missed anything, because that's how serious we are about it. Is we want to make sure both of us have looked at that car, looked for things, because sometimes what I look for is Brian's not looking at it, and vice versa. So we make a good team.
We bounce off each other. It's like, hey, did you catch this? Did you see that? We had case in point yesterday. A gentleman brought out a car and he hadn't run it in a very long time, and his seat belts were out of date. It's like, sorry, you have to get current, up-to-date seat belts.
They weren't this decade.
Yeah,
so.
They were extremely old.
Wow. Yeah.
I like doing this. I like having fun. This is kind of we get together. We have fun. So
That's great.
Well,
All right.
like I said,
Hey, Kevin and Brian keeping you safe out here at the Texas Mile.